I'm coming from Chile, the south part of the world, of course, and Startup Chile has been doing an amazing job regarding entrepreneurship and innovation. It's an acceleration program funded by the government, the Chilean government, which is trying to support the ecosystem of innovation and entrepreneurship in Chile. We have been working in this for a little bit less than 8 years, and the results are really good, attracting global entrepreneurs from all over the world to come to Chile to develop new ideas and new startups, and they're helping to make a better and stronger economy in Chile in innovation. The first main challenge that all the economies normally have is examples. We needed at the beginning, back in 2010, we need really good examples to try to somehow make all the entrepreneurs to invest and to start new ventures in Chile. At the beginning, as we didn't have a lot of examples or success stories in Chile, so we needed somehow to create that. I think the main challenge is that, because if you compare all the economies, for instance, I don't know, let's go with Silicon Valley and Chile. In Silicon Valley, you can go there and everybody is already building new ventures, right, and new entrepreneurs. In Chile, we didn't have that at the beginning. So the main challenge was, how can we start creating local or maybe global, but based in Chile, entrepreneurs to develop new ventures so all the Chileans, all the Latin American people can believe that they can also do it. The main challenge I think that will be. The first idea was, hey, what if we can attract global entrepreneurs? Like, come to Chile, not only foreigners, but also Chileans, but maybe they were living outside of Chile, and then they can just come back to Chile, and we're going to fund them the new ideas, new ventures. At the beginning was something about 30,000 US dollars, so they can come to Chile and work for 6 months in this new venture. And they start developing new programs. As the program has been going, we normally are like attracting startups per batch, 2 batches per year. So now we have been doing this for 18, 19 batches so far, right? So like 1,400 startups have already through the program. So now we have been doing a lot of cases, so we do have more success stories to share. But of course, we cannot do this just by our own path, right? We need to involve the whole ecosystem. We need the universities, we need the banks, we need the investors, we need the corporate funds, we need the big corporations to be involved. The main challenge is not by ourselves or not just one single program in the government, but you need a lot of people to be involved in this whole movement. I mean, of course, regarding the infrastructure, it's always hard to get. At the beginning, Corfo, which is one of the big corporations in Chile owned by the government, depending in the Ministry of Economy, we have a lot of funds regarding this whole ecosystem, not only entrepreneurship, but for instance, do we need to have co-working spaces, for instance, with really good internet access? Maybe we do, so we need to somehow start funding this at the beginning. Do we need to have accelerators and incubators owned by the universities? Maybe we do, so we need to somehow incentive this kind of incubators and accelerators owned by the universities and helped by the government too. So yes, we started to somehow like fill all the gaps that we needed to do at the beginning, at the same time that we were going through Startup Chile. Regarding the social economical side, Chile is a really stable country, so we didn't do anything regarding that. The economic stable is really good, and it's also really secure. So that was really important to attract global talents to Chile, and they were interested to come because it's really safe and the economy has been growing since a few years. You need the support of the government. I think that's one of the first one. We need the entrepreneurial ecosystem by itself, not just one entrepreneur, but a lot of people working in networks with them. We need the investors. We need money. And the money could come by the government, could come by big corporates, could come by private funds, but you need the money to develop. That's where the venture capital funds normally come. And you also, in my point of view, need the universities or the talent normally coming by the universities. You need really talented people to create this. Maybe you need PhDs, engineers, masters, people, high skilled people to develop new ventures. Because if you build a startup, in our definition, it should be technology based. So somehow you need to attract that talent. In Chile, as we have pretty good universities and we have really good partnership with global universities, they're coming to Chile to develop these new ventures and enterprises. We are talking about innovation, and innovation means that I mean, everybody should be involved in innovation, and also the government, and that's why through innovative policies, public policies, you can develop new opportunities in the market. So that's why Startup Chile was founded as an experiment, of a lean experiment by the government to somehow trying to develop this new ecosystem. So you don't only need the money, you need the whole policy to be established and to develop these new ventures. For instance, you need to create new enterprises, and the process to create enterprises in all the world normally is bureaucratic and long, right? So you need a new policy, and you need to somehow remake this process to make it easier. Okay, if you need to attract like foreign investors to Chile, let's make it easy through a new visa. So you need the support of the government somehow, but at the beginning is it enough just one line of funding helping in startups? In my point of view, no, you need the whole support of the government, right? So Startup Chile, yes, it was really the good way to start. You need to begin somehow, and Startup Chile attract a lot of people, but we realized that we need more help of the government. Do you need to attract, for instance, talent to go to Chile? Well, you need a new process of visa to make it faster and easier to get a visa and work in Chile. Do you need to attract money? Maybe you need a new visa for investors to come here, an easy way to go. Are you attracting foreigner people or maybe Chileans starting new ventures? Well, you need a new relationship with banks because they need to open bank accounts, right? And for instance, is if you need to create new corporates, the process of creating companies in the whole world normally is really bureaucratic and long, and you need a new process. And that's how everything started. All of these things that I have been mentioned, Chile somehow has been going through different challenges to support it. Now in Chile it's possible to create enterprise for free in one day. I mean, it's incredible, right? And it's not just by Startup Chile, it's because the whole ecosystem is going through that direction, and it's involved in somehow making better the whole process. It depends on each one of the partners, but let's start by universities. We have really good relationship with universities because we need their support. They are creating new talent, new people, like trying to develop new engineers to the industry, right? So we need them to somehow focus not just in being employees, but in going in entrepreneurship, right? So we are somehow attracting the talent through universities, and they're helping us. Also with the incubators that they have, the first stage, they're helping the new startups, new ventures to start to somehow construct and build the ideas and start working in a real startup. And then they can be part of Startup Chile, and then we can keep going, right? That's something that is coming before Startup Chile and before the acceleration programs. But what's happening after the Startup Chile program? Because we cannot support the startups forever, as we are part of the government, but we have like 6 to 10 months, it depends on the program that they're being, helping them, right? So we need somebody else to take them, and in that part, normally it's coming the venture capital, the angel investors, and few other accelerators that they have. In that terms, these partnerships, they're playing a really important role. And those partnerships after Startup Chile normally are venture capital, angel investors, a few funds, family offices, and few other soft landing programs from all over the world, because it depends on the challenge that the startup is having after Startup Chile. Do they need to raise more funds? Okay, maybe they should go in the investors club on the investor networks, the networks that we have. Do they need to have more clients? Okay, they should go by corporate network that we have. Maybe they will start selling to big corporates, and we're going to help them through the first deals. Do they need to, scale to other markets? Okay, they will go through the soft landing programs that we have partnered with, right? So that's how the networks are made. Before Startup Chile, during Startup Chile, and after the program, and they are helping us to somehow trying to help the startup to be successful at the end. So it's a trend now in Latin America to somehow the big corporates are being involved with startup. But wait, that's quite new, right? Because at the beginning, the big corporates, they were just like playing the game of businesses, where startups were just trying to emerge. And then we had really good examples of startups growing really fast and actually compete with big corporates. So the corporates realized that they somehow needed to implement the innovation in the process. So they have different way of doing this. The normal traditional way that they will hire a lot of people, an innovation team, and they will start developing new features or new processes to deliver the same value that they were doing on complete worldwide, right? But there's a second way, which is, in my point of view, on a Startup Chile point of view, faster, and it's as having good results. Instead of owning the whole team and hiring a lot of people, being partnered with a startup that they are already been working in some solutions that the big corporates can incorporate in their processes. This second like idea is how we are working with the corporate partners that we have in Startup Chile. Normally it could be that the big corporates are sharing with us the challenges that they have, and they will go and look in our portfolio of startups which one of the startups can actually deliver value to them, and we're going to make a match, right? We're helping them to start working together. Why is Startup Chile doing that? Because we think that the startup will somehow deliver value to a big corporate. They will have the first big clients. They will start a new joint venture together, and at the same time, the corporate is going to receive value through innovation in Chile, and maybe with this process, it will be better to all the economy in Chile. A lot of things happening in innovation and entrepreneurship in the whole world, right? And we are somehow fighting in each one of our clusters. Maybe Latin America is working by itself, or maybe Chile is working by itself. But we have been seeing a lot of stories in the whole world, and I think the Arab world is doing a really good job in that path. We are fighting the same war. Somehow we're taking the same idea, and we're going through the innovation because we know that that's the path. Now we are comparing how much money is the government investing in innovation in each one of the countries, and I think the Arab world is doing the same way. We have been hearing a lot of really good success stories in the United Arab Emirates, for instance, from Lebanon and a few other countries in the Arab world. And being here in Oman, I think that's an incredible job. This same competition, which has been like, I think is the 11 session, means that you have been working a lot in this part. So I think that you're doing a really great job. We need to find somehow, not following the big leaders, like following Europe or following the US. I think we need to somehow follow what our region needs, as Latin America is doing, and I think the Arab world is doing the same, understanding what are the problems and trying to solve those problems by the innovation of the startups and the local startups, of course. I think what all the economy should do is not just following the big leaders. If somebody in the US or somebody in Europe is doing something good, it's not possible to us to just copy and paste and redo it in our same economies. So I think a good advice to the Arab world is you find your own problems, identify it, and find the talent that you need to solve it. Create the new solutions, because I'm pretty sure that the talent to solve it is here in your world, and by your own means you can solve it and make a success stories in the Arab world.